Public Q&A presents AskReddit question. Students of Reddit, has anyone in your online classes had an "oh shit" moment after realizing their mic/camera was still on? If so, what were they doing? One of my classmates was talking to someone off-screen about how shitty the class is, and how stupid our lecturer is. Her mic and camera were both on. She was rambling for about 30 seconds when the lecturer just said her name. She just looked over at her screen, leaned forward a tad, then her eyes went wide and she covered her mouth. She immediately left the meeting. Haven't seen her in class since. This was 2 weeks ago. I would never go back to. Had that happen in hours when a teacher had brought in a special guest instructor in addition that day. Girl starts going off about how boring and fucking stupid class was. Teacher had to loudly and repeatedly say that someone wasn't on mute before she noticed. Then she panicked, shut off her camera, and wrote an apology in the chat trying to say it was her boyfriend saying that stuff, when she has a very distinct voice, plus we could see her mouth moving since it was on video, smiling face with open mouth and tightly closed eyes. Seeing as the semester started about 3 weeks ago for most people, I would have dropped too. Oof. Just today, this one guy had some unholy screeching coming through the mic from elsewhere in the house. No context, he just had a mildly panicked look on his face and muted himself. Possibly a cat, a baby, or a parrot. Or a horny fox outside. Probably a horny fox. Her name is Pam. You seem to have had experience with horny foxes. And I don't know whether that's a good thing or not. I live in the countryside. Between lady foxes in heat sounding like women being murdered, barn owls screeching like tortured souls, whatever it is that crunches across my gravel drive at 3 a.m., and idiots who let their cats roam at night, the dark is full of interesting noises. I have a sibling with awful bipolar disorder. Online classes would be a nightmare because of the screaming. Same, along with other issues. I'm glad she is normally sleeping when I am in class. During an all-school meeting, a teacher and his wife got in an argument, and you could hear them yelling at each other. Is that mathematics teacher? Maybe head over to the relationship advice for more info. Bro just divorce her LOL. Last letter of the Dennis system. Found it. Web address. My god, it reminds me of kids that act out when they want attention. At 25 years old she might mature out of this. Although I wouldn't bet on it. Someone in one of our huge official department meetings was unmuted. You could hear her boyfriend ask in the background, "What are y'all doing?" And she said, "Just this stupid meeting, we not doing shit." It was hilarious. She got kicked out of the meeting though. LOL, I love this. People will ask me what my calendar looks like, and I'll be like, well, it's packed, but I can probably skip that and that, and so many meetings could just be emails or Teams messages. Sometimes I wonder how deep into meeting hell someone has gotten. What is the world record? Last Thursday, I had 6 hours straight. I leave my Mondays free for fires and Fridays free for fucking off. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are just call after call, though, until about 13:00 at the earliest. Yep, I once had to do literally 9 a.m. 1 p.m., then 2 p.m. 5 p.m. break was for lunch, then had a meeting for my other job 5 p.m. 7 p.m., and then a voluntary-ish thing 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then my friends asked me to Zoom quiz, and I told them to fuck off and laid in a dark room for hours until I fell asleep. I've been having a regular phone catch-up every 2 weeks with someone for years, and since lockdown he's insisted on a weekly 3-hour Zoom call. What the hell? We've all gone Zoom crazy. There was a day last year I had a 4 to 6 international call, an immediate debrief after that from 6 to 7, a meeting with senior team from 7:30 to 10, a meeting to brief my team from 10 to 11, an off-site meeting from 11:30 to 12:30 complete with requisite pre-meeting with my team from 11 to 11:30, and post-meeting from 12:30 to 1, was pulled in to assist in a meeting from 1 to 3, had a meeting with my manager from 3:30 to 4, then had another meeting on a different project from 4 to 6, then had to do a teleconference from 7 to 9. I hated that day so much I saved my calendar from it to remind myself. Some managers at my work have meetings back to back all day long. Oftentimes they're double booked for meetings, so they just choose which one is more important to attend. I am often double and triple booked, and will have meetings back to back. It happened to me so often I instituted some rules. 1. Tell me why you need me at the meeting, what you are looking for me for, i.e. are you bringing me up to speed? Do you need me to help make decisions? Am I there to make up numbers? And I'll pick if I come. 2. If I need to speak, can you put me at the start or end? 3. You get me for 25 minutes per 30 minutes of meeting. So a 1-hour meeting, I attend for 50 minutes. I am senior enough in my role and good enough at my specialization I can enforce this. I think all workplaces should do the last one especially. It A. protects me from being late to the next meeting, holding them up and creating a concertina for every meeting thereafter, and B. gives me time to collect my thoughts, review my notes, make any necessary phone calls or emails, eat something or get coffee, go to the bathroom. Me playing World of Warcraft every morning from 8 noon while at work. Then the meetings end late afternoon Eastern Time, and I can actually do what I am getting paid to do. That was me, but a long time ago before meetings integrated into smartphones, so you could see if you are muted or not. I thought I would done too or whatever it was to mute, and my wife was yelling at me from another room. I am yelling back I am on the phone. She couldn't hear me. Do I yell even louder? I am on the fucking phone interrupting the CEO during an all-hands meeting. Luckily no one knew who it was. Can't even imagine how paranoid you must have been for the next few hours about someone figuring it out. I had a similar embarrassing experience. My sister was visiting and I took her to the beach, but we had to sit in a Starbucks so I could present and listen to other students present. I had a connection issue and recalled in and botched the mute. One student was presenting and doing a fine job, but I was agitated and wanted to spend time with my sis, and I was so conscious of keeping her inside. I turned to her and was like, "Ugh, I wish this guy would just shut up," or something similarly horrible. Line went dead for a SEC, so I am sure folks heard it. I apologized to the guy afterwards and copied the prof. I was mortified. I hate that I hurt this guy when he was trying his best and doing a good job, and it's one of those things that keeps me up at night sometimes. I am so ashamed that that was inside me, and all it took was a moment of aggravation to bring it out. Well, you not doing shit in our company anymore. Not in my class. Someone was unmuted while they started talking shit about someone else in the class before the teacher muted them. In my class, someone's mom came in and started yelling in Spanish. It was awkward because at first the teacher thought they had been trying to ask a question, so she said what and for quiet for a minute while everyone just listened. Oh my god, this happens too often. Someone's family member comes in, makes some noise, teacher stops and asks what, and everyone sits and listens to weird as personal convos. Brother walks in. Sees they're in a Zoom class. Dude, you left your gross ass but rash cream in the bathroom. Tosses regular lotion at him. Pick up your shit. And next time you clog the toilet, I am not going to plunge it, I'll just shit in your bed. My friend's brother loves to just walk backwards, forwards, backwards repeatedly for like 10 minutes when she's in a call. And her sister is a world champion winner, so you can tell how hectic it is when her mic is on. Our maths teacher is terrifying but doesn't really know how to work a computer. He was messing everything up and kept accidentally muting himself and stuff. Anyway, this girl in my class forgot to mute herself, and Bocce Callie spent a good 2 minutes dissing him with an impressive range of obscenities. At some point she realized that she was broadcasting her extremely low opinions of our teacher to the entire class. The teacher was very unhappy, and the girl immediately left the class. I can't even imagine the pure hell of trying to do a group project remotely. ETA. I work 100% remotely now, and will until at least next summer. It's tough, I get it. When I commented, I was thinking specifically about that one slacker in every high school or college group that doesn't show up to meetings, doesn't do any of the work, and still expects the good grade. Those types tend to get weeded out in the workforce. And if not, you can always passively aggressively send per my last email notes and CC the boss. It's about 20 times as frustrating as being in person, because we have to all swap whose turn it is to share screens, instead of moving around a table or swapping papers. Edit. We're not actually doing a group project, just working on assignments together. Unless you're presenting it, it's helped me a lot to have a Google Doc that's shared with my group, and we all post our work in it, and put it together like that. My 7th grade daughter turned on her Zoom meeting for her very first class on her first day of school, saw the face of the student who was currently talking, and yelled, "Not Victoria, I hate Victoria." I asked her if her mic was muted, and she looked at her screen horrified, slammed her laptop shut, ran out of the room yelling, "I quit school." It was a rough first day. It's so cringy for her yet so funny for us. Teacher was teaching a online class grinds, which are extracurricular. There was a ton of audio issues and people kept saying they couldn't hear him. Eventually he said that we would postpone the class to a couple days later, and that we could all leave the meeting now. Of course, I am pretty sure this isn't the most tech-savvy guy, so he didn't realize that most of us couldn't tell he said to leave audio issues again, and so we hung around a couple more minutes. Somehow, it was a lot more audible when he tossed his glasses onto the table and said, "That was a fucking disaster." I then realized that it was time to go. Poor guy, LOL. As a teacher, I can empathize. This e-learning stuff is even harder on us than it is our students. I hate it so much. All the tech issues aside, it has created 3 times the work, and even after all that, I know that for the majority of my students my lessons won't be effective, and there is almost nothing I can do about it. I have never been as stressed and worn out as I am now because of the remote learning. Edit. Thanks for all the kind words and awards. You guys rock. I am sure I am not the only one whose life or job or school has been made harder by everything. We are all in this together. Thanks for reminding me of that. Thank any teachers you know, let them feel the love. Keep up the good work, you've got this. We're all just taking what we can get at this point. Seriously, words of encouragement like this do help. Even from a complete stranger. If you know any teachers, give them a smile and a "you've got this." It goes a long way. Thanks so much. The onboarding at work for video calls says you should ask, "Can anyone not hear me?" When I was in elementary school, 6th grade, we were preparing to do the Iowa skills test. The principal came over the loudspeaker saying we were about to start, blah blah, and that if you couldn't hear this message to call the office immediately. Faith in grown-ups further destroyed. My favorite attendance joke is to ask the kids to raise your hand if you're not here. Can everybody not present raise their hands? This happened to me last week. Our poor lecturer was swearing and getting wound up thinking we all left, but eventually a brave classmate unmuted themselves and told him we were still there. I was browsing social media as one does in the middle of a lecture, then expressed surprise at something I saw on there to my GF. Little did I know my mic was on and the teacher stopped class to ask what I said. Holy shit. Excuse me. I'm just really excited about history. Is it Napoleon or you are happy to see me? My girlfriend told me a story of her taking an online Zoom Pilates class, at the beginning of everything shutting down. The Zoom meeting was set up in presenter instead of gallery mode, so whoever is speaking is on the main screen. She said in one of the poses someone farted and their camera popped up on the screen for everyone until the next instruction. Super awkward. Hello, this is your friendly AI acknowledging your fart, and putting you up on screen so the group can enjoy the rest of your contributions. Good luck trying to blame another person for this one. The best thing is to change their notification sound to a fart noise, then text them when they are speaking. Did this to my brother. Funniest thing was, instead of quickly putting his phone on silent, he threw it across the room in a panic, broke his screen, and we were still able to send him texts. The mental image of this is hilarious. Oh my god, you are evil face with tears of joy. On the plus side, you didn't have to smell it. Not in school, but a few years ago during online training for my job. Our managers agreed we could do the training at home since it was all remote anyway, and so it was a nice week working from home. During one of the sessions we heard what sounded like porn, then it got louder and louder. Finally the presenter says, "Okay, we see who is unmuted. I am not going to name names, but let's be professional here." The poor guy couldn't look any of us in the eye after we returned to work. I am not going to name names because we all see your name. My church is still doing Zoom church. Apparently a guy didn't realize his wife was still in Zoom church when he stepped in full view of the camera, totally naked. I only know this because he said so luckily I don't think anyone noticed. We also have a time at the end for people to unmute themselves if they want to say hi. Someone unmuted himself, apparently thought it didn't work, and yelled, "I don't know how to do this shit." There have to have been so many naked bodies that have passed in front of cameras at this point. I am kind of surprised it's not in the news, but I guess it's not the kind of thing people tend to report. Just pretend it didn't happen. My coworker's 15-year-old son walked through the background of our weekly all-hands meeting in boxers or shirtless literally every week from when we started in March till I went on maternity leave in July. Apparently the path from both his room and their garage or gym to the bathroom took him past the room where my coworker had set up his workspace. And the kid would finish his morning workout at the same time as the meeting. Not exactly forgot the camera was on, but forgot their surroundings. Webcam starts up, and there's just a massive dildo on the bed beside where this person was sitting, back behind them. I've never felt so badly for an instance of poor forgetfulness. Oh, that's just my dog's chew toy. Oh, that explains the leash, chains, whips, and cage. It's a guitar, guys. Just own it. Guy. Jesus, that's a big dildo. Them. HA. You would think that, wouldn't you? Edit. I suppose it didn't come across, but it was supposed to sound like she's implying it's only big when compared to his penis. 030. That's the starter size. That's my smaller one. Let me get the bigger one. Oh, that's just the one. One scale model of mine my wife uses when I am out of town. Once my very adorable classmate sang happy birthday so cheerfully while our prof was discussing. She only noticed it when she came back to class and saw our reactions in the chat. It was her dog's birthday, she said, then apologized for it. Oh shit, Tool, real quick. When my wife and I tried to sing happy birthday to our kitten when she turned 1, she thought we were yelling at her and ran away. We felt so bad, but we were also falling over laughing. Now when we sing to her, we sing a lot more quietly. This is the best one. Not exactly, but I did have a student who obviously walked away in a call. We predominantly use Teams for our video calls, and it will show you who is in a meeting and how long it is going for. I go through the teaching of the content, and then I will always say if you know what needs to be done, you're welcome to leave the call. If not, hang around and I'll answer your questions. All the students leave except one. I ask him how he's going and he doesn't reply. I ask again, still no reply. So I left the call and timed how long he was still in there. The kid was still in the call for another 45 minutes before he came back and realized everyone was gone. Still sent me a message asking what they needed to do. Edit. Also, thanks for the cake day wishes. I had no clue it was today, thought it was like 2 weeks ago. Also, I didn't know this question was targeted to students, so my bad. This exact scenario happened to me, except I had fallen asleep, worked a night shift before class 8 to 11, and my teacher stayed in the Zoom until I had woken up and realized what happened to make sure I was okay and to see if I wanted an extension for the paper due later that day. Such a sweetheart. As someone who always fall asleep in online class, I can confirm he fell asleep. I assume this happened for some people at least twice this semester. Just yesterday had a classmate that was dead asleep. Like head bobbin, open mouth asleep. This went on for about 15 minutes before he woke up, noticed the camera was on and quickly turned it off. It was too late, the prof had already made some remarks. And the lectures recorded for later viewing. This morning one of my students was out cold in less than 5 minutes after he logged in. He was on camera, in bed, camera framed on his head on his pillow. That's hilarious, face with tears of joy. In 8th grade our math teacher had this fancy new speaker and mic set installed in our classroom because apparently he had vocal cord issues, and this way he could speak at a lower volume and not stress his voice box. So of course, he went to the bathroom and left his mic on. A class of 38th graders heard his entire bowel movement and bathroom ritual, including humming while washing his hands. The look on that poor man's face when he came back and realized the mic was on. Anyways, soon after he decided that due to technical issues he would no longer need the sound system, and he just lectured normally. I'm 30 now and sometimes still feel bad for the guy. We were cruel. I thought I had muted myself, and I was just doing my work and singing "I'll Make a Man Out of You" from Mulan, because I had it stuck in my head. Then I looked at my computer and realized I wasn't muted, and then quickly said, "Oh sorry, I accidentally unmuted myself," and the teacher said no worries, and I could hear her laugh a little. I wanted to curl up and just lie in a hole. LOL. To be fair, "I'll Make a Man Out of You" is one of the best Disney songs. I wasn't ashamed because of the song I was singing. No, that song slaps. I am just insecure about my singing voice. LOL. It's me, I am the student. It happened yesterday actually. My buddy and I like to chat over Discord while attending classes. Yesterday we were discussing almost to the point of screaming about the NBA playoffs. I don't have any horse in that race since my Spurs didn't make it this year, but we were speculating which teams are going to make the finals. My bet was Lakers v Heat, and I made a very long and somewhat loud argument defending my prediction. That my whole class got to hear because I accidentally left the Zoom mic open. There was a very awkward silence followed by laughter from my classmates and my teacher, whose face screamed second-hand embarrassment. One of my classmates told me that they listened to me in silence for a solid 30 seconds before I realized. Girl started to full-on make out with her boyfriend. I mean under the shirt, heading to third base type shit. Our professor has to beg her to at least turn off her camera. The way you said that, poor professor. Just yesterday, kid was talking to his friend about how stupid the class was. Teacher stops and waits for him to finish. It takes them a second to realize that it's silent now. He asks if they're done. Sorry professor, muted. Cue the text chat in the server dying with laughter at him. We made a Discord server for the class. Damn, I wish my class listened to my suggestions to create a class Discord server. Not a teacher, but my wife is. She said that anytime she is in her class live stream, our 4-year-old will go use the potty and yell at her, "I am done." Or anytime she smells something bad, she will come up and ask her, "Did you toot?" I asked her if she did, and that's why she is asking. She denies it, but I think otherwise. Yeah, I have a 2-year-old. Many of my coworkers have heard her bust into the office yelling, "Mommy, I went poopy." I had a Zoom meeting with my entire department. One of my coworkers, who talks a little loudly to begin with, was talking about print and online deadlines for our magazines, and her 4-year-old daughter burst into the room and said, in the most authoritative tone ever, "Mommy, you need to be quiet, I am watching a movie." We all chuckle a little and move on. Coworker continues talking, and not 2 minutes later, her daughter walks in again, gives her a glare, and says, "Quieter," before stomping out. It took all my self-control not to burst out laughing then and there. I have a 5-month-old puppy, and 2 kids, 2 and 6 years old. It's been pretty hectic working from home. One morning, after putting puppy down to nap, my 2-year-old, as they do, half stomps half dances through the house. I rush to him and say, "SHH. Quiet. The puppy is sleeping." Later that morning, I hop on a Zoom meeting, and am talking with my coworkers. My 2-year-old comes running in and yells, "Daddy. Quiet. Puppy is sleeping." Not anymore. Edit. Missed a word. That has to be the cutest thing I have read today. For those of us without little humans running around, I personally find these interruptions both adorable and humanizing. I like the little ones coming to wave at all of us, and I don't mind a toddler sitting on dad's knee while we're talking. Look, everyone is doing the best we can during these circumstances, and I enjoy the momentary distractions and laughs. I love it whenever my professors or classmates end up with a child, or cat or dog coming and saying hi or sitting with them. My dad's a college professor who is in his first semester of online classes. I moved in with him and mom to help take care of them during quarantine, and have extended my stay to help them with the inevitable slew of tech issues. Dad calls up saying, "Can you come down a minute?" I keep getting disconnected from the video. "Are you broadcasting now?" "No, I disconnected." I'd just gotten out of the shower, so figuring time was essential, I threw on a pair of shorts before quickly heading down. I round the desk to check out the issue, start clambering through the mess of overlapping windows and options he'd left open for me to sift through, and then I find the window showing all the active video feeds of his class. Yep, it was still up and working. And in the upper left corner, there I was, my fuzzy gut flopping around at all sorts of grotesque angles as I was leaning over the unappealingly lit desk. Now, instead of shrieking like a little girl, I kind of just look into the camera and say, good morning folks. Hey, Professor Dad. Bad news, mostly for them, your camera is working perfectly. Apparently, when he said he disconnected, he meant the share screen would get disabled because he would back out of slideshow view in PowerPoint, not realizing the slideshow appears in a window separate from PowerPoint itself, and backing out just closes that window and the share screen for it. Fortunately, none of the students reacted to me. They didn't even seem to be in the littlest bit entertained, as PowerPoint is known to do to people. But now if I am anywhere near that desk, I am putting on a nice collared shirt and combing my hair first. Because if anybody says they're disconnected from their Zoom meeting, I know those words have a very liberal range of interpretation depending on the user. To your credit, that was a genius response. For the record, if I was in the class and this happened, I would have said something and or laughed in appreciation. Those PPL definitely didn't have souls. Once I was working with a high school volunteer, started a siphon for her to clean a turtle tank. I didn't drop it fast enough and gagged on turtle shit water shooting down my throat at high speed. In between coughing, I made some joke like, "See, this is why you shouldn't start a siphon that way," and this girl did not Laugh. Not even a little smile. It was fucking savage. Ugh, how I would have died. I like to think I am that person to make things less awkward. It was worse than choking on the poop water, lol. I was about twice her age, but in that moment, I felt like I was an awkward high schooler again. We had a girl that had constant mic and video issues, and when her mic did work it was always out of sync, and she would never respond on time to answer a question. The one time her mic was actually on and working, she was singing to herself in the background, and she wasn't responding to the teacher calling her name, so we just muted her for the rest of the class. In her defense, if her internet sucks to the point everything is out of sync and not working, then she can't respond to a question on time. This is a really shitty time to have bad internet, and you don't even have to be super rural to have satellite be your only option. This happened last semester, right when Zoom class started to be a thing. I think it was actually like my third day of online class. My cat tried to jump off a desk and onto the bed, but there was a towel underneath him, so he slipped and fell. I then proceeded to scream laugh at him, and within seconds received a text message from my friend that my mic was on. Too bad the cat wasn't on camera. Not a student, but a few months ago, we were on a Zoom meeting about the release of a big project me and the rest of the dev team have been working on since January. I was muted as 90% of the folk in the meeting, and I was bored, so I started scrolling and seeing the faces of everyone that had their cameras on. A lady was watching the meeting with her webcam on, and her husband walked in naked from the bathroom. Her face was unforgettable. She immediately turned her cam off. Just me and another coworker noticed the incident. My mate does IT for a private school, and they had issues with kids anonymously drawing dick pics in group Zoom meetings. He changed some settings without telling the students, and so the next time it happened the artists' names were displayed against their next creation, rolling on the floor laughing. Not exactly an oh shit moment, but one of my classmates was getting dogged and pestered by the teacher, and eventually just breaks and starts cussing her out with everything he's got. The teacher just falls silent and stares at him, and at the end he looks directly into the camera and says the most deadpan oops you've ever heard. I had a fan sitting on my desk. I put my feet on my desk to sit comfortably. I accidentally kicked the fan of my desk. It fell on the floor with a loud bang. I was startled and cursed. Then I heard my teacher laughing and asking if everything was okay. I then realized I had my microphone and camera on, so they heard the bang, and saw as well as heard me cursing. Good times. It was me. Had a live lesson, had to shit. Took phone to the toilet with me Wi-Fi down, so couldn't use my laptop, everyone could hear my shit. Sorry man. That's really shitty. I am sure he went flush in the face. I hope you can wipe away the memory of this. Unfortunately, this is the kind of thing that leaves a smear on your reputation. A girl in my class did this on purpose. She laughed as we listened to her pee. What the fuck? Why? I wish I knew. Was she known for doing gross or weird shit before this? Yes, she's known for talking about horse penises. This is the worst one, I am so sorry. Shit happens. Somebody was playing WAP in their background while asked a question. Being old, I had to Google WAP. I was not prepared for those lyrics. We should have warned you, sorry. I am 27, and I still haven't bothered to listen. Now I am curious. Edit. Hoes in this house, indeed. I started talking to my dog Luke, and telling him what a good boy he is when I realized that my mic was not the worst thing that could have happened, but definitely embarrassing. Please tell me there was a Luke in your class embarrassed over you calling him a good boy. There are actually 2 Lukes, 3 including my doggo. One is my best friend, so it wasn't weird after I explained it to him, but the other one is a new student. Sorry for leaving that out. I didn't really reread my post cause I was still in class. All your class. Man, I knew they were close, but I didn't think they had that kind of relationship. That one girl on Twitter who forgot to change her name from Big Titty Bitch still makes me laugh. We were having a really boring or long class, and the professors were giving out nonsense advice on our work. One of my friends turned around to where his mom was off screen, and said, "This is the worst fucking Zoom class I have ever taken." Everyone just went silent. 5 seconds later he realized he had left his mic on. This one time, I was in my AP history class, and while the teacher was lecturing, one of my peers was doing the jerk without realizing that his camera was turned on. We didn't see his dick, but his hand was moving in a up and down motion. I don't think the teacher noticed him till he was done lecturing us on homework, when he calls out the student saying that his camera was turned on. He then said, "Oh shit," and left the class entirely. All of us were speechless and the teacher ended the meeting. Our teacher was explaining the gruesome details about the Holocaust and the millions that suffered through it while someone was jerking off. Let that sink in. Why would anyone do that in a meeting, even if the camera and mic were off? I don't know. I was like, bro, do it after class, not right now. Or on a lunch break. One can only hope he had the class muted so he wasn't whacking it to the Holocaust. He wouldn't have been able to hear the teacher say that his cam was on if that were the case. What has happened to him in the aftermath? I am sure that story went through the entire school. From what I heard, he got suspended for 1 week after that incident. He was kind of a loner after that. Well, that's what you get for jerking off in the middle of class while your teacher explains what the Holocaust is. Serious question, how in the fuck does suspension work in virtual school? Are you just not allowed to be part of the Zoom meeting for a while? Seriously, I am very puzzled about how that works. At the beginning of the semester, I sent out an email with a joke about still having to wear pants for class over Zoom. It didn't occur to me that people may need to be reminded to wear shirts. And I really, truly, did not expect to have to send a notice to my students telling them not to smoke weed during class. Edit. For people complaining that it's their own house. It's illegal in this state, it's against school policy, and it's a recorded video everybody in the class has access to. All it takes is somebody passing it to the administration out of spite to cause problems. They need to not be fucking stupid, and at least turn the camera off for 30 seconds. Even if it is legal, it should still be common sense. I mean, you wouldn't be taking a fat bong rip during a work meeting, so why should this be any different? Yeah, there is a difference between legal and appropriate. They do doing that though. Sat in a Discord call with friends. Unmutes to answer a question, gets blown by a creeper. I was playing Minecraft in a particularly boring tutor period, you can imagine the rest. Either you meant blown up, or you got mods that I really don't want to know about. One time, a kid thought their mic was muted, and was talking serious shit about the teacher. Making fun of the teacher's looks, claiming the teacher was balding, ugly, gross. It was so sad. We all accidentally talked shit about the kid, who said the stuff about our teacher to get back at him. He ended up dropping the class this Monday. Good on you. Most teachers are just trying their best and definitely don't deserve that. Damn, that's horrible. Hope the teacher knows better than to take it to heart. You're a good person, standing up for him or her. I always listen to music in the background. We were having an exam, and I put some Sense Deep House full volume for the entire test kit to find out at the end that I left my mic on. Weird that nobody, including the teacher, said something. That's hella distracting. Even if they enjoyed the music, it had to sound like shit through the computer. I guess everyone just shut their computer volume off. They may have muted her. Me, I had started up the mic and video for a review class for one of my exams back in April. About a minute later I saw my cat crawling towards me, and usually by giving him an angry face he would back off when I am working on my laptop. This time he jumped onto the arm of the chair I was sitting in. I said to him "you but" and then remembered that I just said that with the video and mic on. I reached out to shut down my video only to see that I was put on mute, and the instructor is laughing as my cat starts playing and attacking my hand and arm. All I could do was laugh and show off my cat. So I did. I was in the middle of calling my friend saying this class fucking sucks when my buddy texted me saying "you know your mic is on." Not even joking. I dropped the class after that, and replaced it with a different class as I didn't even need to take it. Edit 1. Obligatory wow, my most upvoted comment is about me telling my teacher I hated her class by accident. Thank you everyone for the upvotes. Holy power moves. This class sucks ass. Peace. Student name has unenrolled. Yeah, legit, that was pretty much my send-off. I am in college, and whenever I unmute myself to answer a question, my 4-year-old daughter runs over and yells "poopy butts." That's adorable, although very, very annoying. The tagline of toddlerhood. She demands to be heard. Not exactly what you asked for, but in one of our classes the teacher was trying to move the lesson along, but a student was being disruptive. So at some point this teacher, who was the most respectful person you've seen, really building a mutual high level of respect between himself and most students, snapped and for 5 minutes cussed this student out. And you got to understand, English cuss words have got nothing on Persian ones. The things he said, it was so fucking destructive, so fucking terrible in an awesome way, you just can't imagine. Imagine the worst chewing out and multiply it by 10. I was actually slightly scared and awestruck at the same time. Translated, what kind of stuff was he saying? As a fellow speaker of the Persian language, I am intrigued, though I can't confirm Persian cuss words being more destructive than English ones. It's just matter of proficiency in a language and your native tongue. Learners of English, in any country at least a fake, often underestimate the weight of English cuss words due to it not being their original language, and still being exposed to them since childhood. As a result of the language's influence all over the world, cuss words are cuss words. My son's teacher wasn't thrilled with me cussing out the dog. She jumped up and snatched a piece of chicken off the counter, and I said, "You stupid fucking bitch, drop it." Someone was listening to really vulgar rap really loudly, and we all heard it. Our teacher hates swearing and got really pissed. Everyone else thought it was hilarious. Wow. You are still with us. Thanks for being such a nice person. As long as you are here, why not like this video and subscribe to our channel? Also, you can press the bell icon so you won't miss any future uploads.